Welcome to the Miami Heat News channel. In this video we'll talk about the bomb that is shaking the NBA world, the possible way out of Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat in next offseason. But before you start, don't forget to subscribe to the Miami Heat News channel and receive news daily. NBA trade rumors. Jimmy Butler should force his way out of Miami this summer. It's been nearly 4 years since Jimmy Butler was a free agent and forced his way to Miami even though the Heat didn't have cap space to sign him. In the end, Jimmy got his sign and trade to land in Miami. However, it may be time for another change of scenery for Jimmy Butler. And this could be the offseason for it. And the biggest evidence for Jimmy deciding to leave the Heat is that this team could be in a bit of trouble heading into the offseason. It's hard to look at this Heat team, despite the fact that they've made the Eastern Conference Finals 2 out of the last 4 years, and the NBA Finals once, and say they're close to winning the title. For some reason, the duo of Jimmy and Bam Adebayo, or the trio of Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler Herro is not good enough to consider the Heat close to contention. It's hard to look at this team's core and expect them to compete with the other top 2 builds, Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, in the Eastern Conference. What's even more troubling is the fact that the Heat flat-out refused to improve the roster last offseason, and then again at the NBA trade deadline. That has to be viewed as insulting from Jimmy's point of view. If the Heat truly believed in Jimmy, wouldn't they do everything they can to try to continue to improve the roster? Say what you want about this team's approach, whether you agree with it or not, one thing is certain: the Heat has not done everything they can to improve this roster over the last year. In fact, you can make the argument that instead of doing everything they can to improve their roster, the Heat has pretty much waved the white flag. After losing in the conference finals last season to the Celtics, the Heat took a step back in the offseason by not making any additions, and then refused to make a trade at the deadline when it was clear this team was struggling mightily. That has to be inexcusable behavior for the Heat if you're Jimmy. Jimmy has lived up to his side of the agreement. He's been excellent. He's been great. He's been everything the Heat has needed and wanted. And yet, the Heat is not keeping up their end of the deal. And that has to be weighing on Jimmy's mind. It may be time for Jimmy to force his way out of Miami. He is wasting away the last few seasons of his prime years on a team that clearly does not care about winning. You can make the argument that Jimmy is having the best season of his career thus far, averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists on 52% shooting from the field. The fact that the Heat aren't in a position where they can make another deep run in the playoffs, even if they qualify for it, is quite disappointing. Maybe Jimmy gives the team the offseason to make a big move, but if they, once again, fall flat on their faces, you can't help but wonder how this team pivots. Another disappointing offseason would be devastating for this team's current build. Thanks for watching today's video until the end. Tomorrow we will bring you more news about Miami Heat. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive news about Miami Heat. See you tomorrow, and let's go Heat Nation!